Microsoft. So let's welcome her to the room. Dr. Rhodes, over to you, ma'am.
Yes, hello everyone. I have been having a lot of technical problems myself. So, and when those kind of things happen, then you know that this is going to be a life-changing session, right? Because it's one of the difficulties that come our way when great things are about to happen and we push through it. And so I've been struggling over the last hour to just get my computer to work, to see if my slides saved. So if things are a little bit choppy, just bear with me here. I'm still trying to, some of the slides didn't save well, so I may be making edits on the go. So yeah, so I'm just excited to be here, very excited. I want to share my screen or share my slides. I don't know how possible that is. Um,
Let me quickly make you co-host, right? Yeah.
okay, that would be super helpful. I just, because I have only two screens here, I'm hoping that I'll be able to still see people and enjoy the session uh, the way I would like.
Awesome.
So let's see. Uh, so let me know when I'm ready. You're ready.
Hi, Dr. Ruth. You have access to share your screen now.
Oh, really? Okay, let me do that. All right. Sorry again, I'm trying to figure this all out. By the way, I work for a company that makes a competitor product to Zoom. So I always feel I need to say how much better Teams is over Zoom. So just forgive me here for not knowing how to use Zoom and trying to figure that out too. Where is the share button now? Let's see. Okay, share screen two, I think. I think this is my share. So yes, I think so. All right. Hopefully you can see me sharing my screen. Do you see my screen, Ura?
Yes, it's loading. I see animated flower, if it's the same
Okay,
which you.
yes. All right. Okay, great. Let me finish loading. So our topic today is building a STEM career that lasts. And so we're going to talk about strategies for long-term success in STEM fields. Um, As I've been introduced, I am Director of Business Management at Microsoft. But I've brought one of my best friends, my sister, my really close ally, Dr. Felicia Whitfall. She's here on the call. She was supposed to be a surprise guest. She has so much to share as well. She's going to be helping me answer questions today because I want to make this very interactive. So I want to be able to go through my slides and talk track within less than 20 minutes. And then we can have the questions. So if you have questions as we speak, just start putting them in the chat. And we will do our best to answer. I also invited Lucy. Lucy, are you here? I don't know if Lucy's here. I invited her. Lucy used to be a fellow, like many of you, a scholar and a fellow. She's been through it all with WAAW. So I also invited her here to also help us answer questions and to introduce herself. So maybe she'll do that later on if she's not here right now. Okay, so let us keep moving here. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out Zoom, my screens, and so on. So you may see me look in a few different directions. It's all good. We're going to have a great time together, regardless. So building a career that lasts, and I put that in bold because the focus here is about longevity. It's about length. It's about quality. It's about time, right? So we're not here to talk about quick wins or short-term success. We're talking about visibility, how you get seen and known, how you develop credibility and a reputation. We're talking about resilience, how you bounce back from failures, from shortcomings, from what life throws at you. and intentional growth over time. So let's right now think beyond your grades, think beyond, internships, your first jobs, all of that. No, that's not what we want to do here, right? We want to think about sustainability here, marked by adaptability, confidence, purpose, right? So I want you right now to begin to reframe your mind and the thought, right? As you see yourself as future professionals with long trajectories ahead of you, long, graceful, flowery, beautiful careers ahead of you, okay? Not just students or early career professionals trying to navigate the next milestone, okay? We want to start thinking beyond survival. Yes, you will have moments where it's just about survival. Let me just get through this test. Let me get through this exam. Let me finish this paper. Yes. But right now, we're thinking strategically over the long haul, right? How to build a career that lasts, right? Especially in STEM environments that are very demanding. Okay. So think about it like staying power, not just getting started. Okay. So with that framing, that changes a lot of things, right? For us and what we're talking about here. Now, why does this conversation matter? Why do you think it matters? I've put some pointers there on the slide. Many of you are pioneers, right? Nobody in your family did science. Maybe nobody in your family has even gone to college, right? You're building your career in an environment that is not designed for you in mind. It's biased against women. You have a lot of imposter syndrome because you feel you don't belong. There's just many reasons why the environment is not as conducive, right? Now, that said, these roles, these science, STEM field roles come with pride, right? They come with pride. Yes, I can do it. I'm gifted, I'm talented, I'm, interested in science and I can do it. But there's also a lot of pressure, right? There's a lot of pressure. So staying and thriving is the greater challenge. It's not even really getting into it. Yes, getting into STEM is like it could be difficult, but a lot of times for women is staying in it and thriving in it that becomes the challenge. So the key here is not, like what I'm trying to establish here is that a long-term career, a long successful career is built intentionally, not accidentally, because you will have all the reasons to quit along the way. And I'm going to share one or two stories of what I also, experienced. So you have to know that it's not even just your talent that is going to keep you in science. You can be the most talented person until you have your first child. Then you realize, like, man, I can't do this. I cannot combine these two, right? So it's not even talent. It's not even ambition. No, it's not. It's not that I want to do it. That's not what keeps you in science and gives you a long-term career. And this may be shocking to you, but it's the deliberate choices you make, self-awareness, like can I do and what can I not do, and how can I organize my life to adjust, right? And it's also about resilience over time because you will fail. Trust me, you will have self-doubt. You will have all kinds of challenges, right? But it's these choices that you make, your self-awareness and your resilience over time, all intentionally, that's going to keep you flourishing in the sciences. Okay? So, with that, let's move and go in a little bit deeper. Let me talk about my own journey, right? So I want to be honest with you, right? My path wasn't polished or predictable. Nope, nope, not at all. I experienced a lot of doubt. I experienced bias. I remember the first day of my PhD, I go in to talk to the director, and he just he just talks about my accent. He could not stop talking about how thick it was and how he couldn't understand me. And what does that do to your self-confidence immediately? Like this, I learned to speak British English. I had done my master's in the UK by this time. And then I have somebody who is, I don't want to call him ignorant, but I mean, that's what that was. Like complaining about my accent, first day of the PhD. And guess what? I was also pregnant, because I had gotten married the previous year, and, you know, that's what married people do, right? If you want to build your family while you still maintain your career, So imagine all that like just imagine facing all that at one time, okay? There were times I felt like I didn't belong. Many times. Because there's this pressure in science, in STEM, to look confident. You got it. You're a scientist, right? Everybody has figured it out. Nope. most people haven't actually. There was an exam I wrote 3 times during my PhD. Now, this is me who had never failed before, had won all the prizes in university, had like first, like a lot of my life. And I come to this point in my life where it was just so much going on, and I failed an exam. Then I failed the makeup exam for it, and I had to now go and stand in front of like professors to defend what I knew. And that one I passed marginally. It was almost like they said, that's fine, you can go. Right. Was I discouraged? Did I drop out? No. But those were difficult, emotional, mental, health challenging moments, right, for me to get through. So what I've learned in all of this is that confidence is not something you need before you begin. You will have moments that knock out confidence off of you, right? You cannot wait to feel ready before you go in it. You show up, you learn through discomfort, you walk, and don't walk away when things get hard. Now, I want to draw a very clear parallel here. I have a daughter who tried with sciences and didn't do really well. She found out she wasn't enjoying it. She found it really difficult. She was failing, and she dropped that. She changed her major. Now, so that's where self-awareness comes in. You cannot be continuously failing, you're not understanding, you don't know what's going on, and say, I'm going to push through and do the sciences. There has to come a point where you know as well that this is not for me. I'm not that keen on it. I don't understand it. It doesn't interest me. I don't have any purpose here. So I'm not talking about that kind of situation. I'm talking about you who knows your purpose, who loves sciences, who understands it, who is curious about discoveries, who wants to keep going here, right? So it's important to be self-aware and draw that parallel, okay? So building confidence is by staying, not waiting to feel ready. You may never feel ready. You take the step when you're unsure. You say yes sometime before you are fully prepared, right? Because clarity, let me put it this way, clarity comes by experience, and your career will continue to unfold over time, right? So feeling uncomfortable does not mean that you don't belong. Actually, it's not. It actually means that you're becoming who you are meant to be. So discomfort is not a sign that you don't belong. That if there's anything that you take from here, that's what you take. You belong, you will make it, and you should not be discouraged. Okay? All right. Persistence is very important here. All right. Then this is a part that is a tricky one, right? Because I'm saying here that the middle is the hardest part in our journeys. Now, trust me, there are many middles. It's not only going to be one middle in your life. It's going to be the middle of college, could be the middle of childbearing, it could be the middle there. Middle here is also used as, a figure of speech, right? It catches people off guard when things become more difficult, the middle, right? People don't live in the beginning. It's exciting. You want to prove it. You're proud to be there. But as the work gets harder, you begin to disengage. You don't see your progress. Some people do PhDs for 7 years, right? You don't do, progress feels slower. The effort, has to be sustained. You have to keep pushing yourself every day, right? It could be mid-degree, it could be mid-career, it could be, like I said, mid-anything. Slumps are very common, but it's not a sign that something is wrong. I remember my PhD thesis, the first draft that I gave my advisor. He had red all over it. Red. I was like probably one of the best writers in my group. Like I had practically won accolades or awards for writing, right? So it wasn't that I didn't know how to write. But one of the things I learned, and this was painful, I cried because I was like, whoa, that's a lot of red, right? But one of the things that I learned was that was how to think analytically, right? Because I was writing all these things, but I wasn't writing the implication of them. So what? So a lot of the red on the thing was, so what? Why should I care? Who cares? Like he was even borderline rude sometimes, right? He was like, so I don't care. Like, but it made me rewrite my work in such a way that people would care, the policymakers would care, the agriculturists would care, climate change. I wrote on ethanol prices, all of those kind of things, And so that was something I learned from, but it was difficult to see red all over my paper. That was a slump for me, right? So the key reframe here for you is that struggle is a sign of growth. It's not inadequacy. If you're struggling, doesn't mean that you can't do it, right? It doesn't mean you don't belong, like I said before. It means you're stretching, you're growing, right? You're getting where you need to be. So see obstacles as developmental milestones. Like this obstacle, like what we just faced, I faced this morning with my slides. I just felt like, you know what, we're gonna get it. This is just a temporary, um, I don't know whether to call it slump or challenge along the way, but it's just for me even more of a signal that we have to do this. We have to share this content and talk about this even more. Okay. So if you see obstacles as developmental milestones rather than personal failures, do not personalize it. It becomes easier for you to persist. Remember the previous slide? I said persistence and intentional growth is how you make it, right? Recognize that the middle is hard, but it helps you build realistic expectations. Like some of you are just starting now, you're excited. There are gonna be periods that will be very hard. There are gonna be grades that you see and you're like, whoa, like how did I score this? Right? But the resilience what you need is resilience to stay and to keep going, right? Bouncing back. All right? Okay. Let's keep going. Gosh. Well, I'm probably not keeping to time. How do we build resilience that lasts? Right? For me, here are some of the things I did. I looked at my goals and tried to manage them, right? So instead of saying, I have these 4 years to do this, like break it up. What do I need to do in the next quarter? What do I need to do in the next half year, right? And then anchor yourself on purpose. Why are you in science? Why are you doing this, right? Why are you doing it? This is not about grades. This is not about title, what I want. Like, what is your purpose in life and why are you in STEM fields, right? And then I think very importantly is having supportive relationships. Felicia, who is here with me, who I invited to this, she's very strong and prominent as my support system. She's someone that I know believes in me and will not let anything happen to me. She'll be there for me regardless, So that gives me comfort, right? Knowing that I have someone in my corner, knowing that I have someone that I can talk to, right, about challenges I'm facing, right? So right now I'm going to give you this exercise to do. Action for you, it's right there. Write one reason why you started in STEM. Like, what is it about STEM that gets you, that fulfills that thing in you that's just, because I believe that God gives all of us a passion, a career, a goal in life, a destiny, right? So there's a reason why you're drawn to the sciences and why you started this journey. What is it? Articulate that. Then also articulate what is one skill I must master this year. You still have a long time before the end of the year. Even if it's just getting good at prompt engineering. Even if it's learning how to use Claude Code or something. Like, what is one goal you must master this year? And then finally, who is that one person who sees your potential? Identify it. There are people, there's a mentor, there's a peer, there's a sponsor, there's a coach, whatever it is. Someone that will provide you encouragement during moments of self-doubt. Okay? All right. Let's keep moving here. All right. Practical advice. I want to focus on the first and the fourth pillar. These are just general practical advice, things that have helped me, things that from my research has helped others. Owning your achievements, networking strategically, building a global professional brand, and future-proofing your career. Those are very important things. Now, in terms of owning your achievements, like I said before, you don't need to feel ready to be ready. You belong. You've earned your seat. You're good enough. Your competence will grow after your exposure. It's not before. It's as you keep getting the exposure, you still keep getting opportunities to present, to write. That's how your competency grows. Okay? So again, your readiness will follow the action that's happening. Step into opportunities that foster your growth and competence over time. Take it. Say yes. Okay? Belonging through effort. Now, you belong through continuous effort, through learning, through meaningful contributions, not through perfection. You don't have to be perfect to belong. Just effort, sustained effort would help you belong, would would even help you feel like you belong. Okay, it's important to track your achievements. That helps. If you create a document like your win document, is what I'm calling it here, but you can call it anything. What is that project that you did, the solution, the positive feedback, something that can build your confidence, and show your evidence of progress, because that would help you in times of self-doubt as well, in times where you feel like, can I keep doing this? Right. And then recognize your value. I've said this probably almost on every side. Speak confidently, carry these practices into your academic and STEM career. And it's through exposure, it's through practice, it's through putting yourself out there that you make it, right? Okay. The last pillar about future proofing your career, right? So I talked about owning, your achievements, but future proofing your career. Having technical skills is great. However, what I'm calling here power skills will help you stay and have a long-term career. What are power skills? I have four there. One is communication. Are you able to explain complex ideas simply? It's so important that you can do that. Are you able to adapt as technology is evolving, right? Things are changing. The AI world is blowing everything up. Are you able to adapt? Can you keep learning? Are you able to influence people? Right? That's leadership. That's a sign of leadership. You don't have to have a title before you start your YouTube channel and teach people how to do something. You can influence without the title. And finally, emotional intelligence. How are you going to navigate the bias you're going to face and all the challenges and roadblocks without losing yourself? Right? How are you going to go in a room and look and you can identify who your support system can be in that department, in among your lecturers, among your peers, right? Emotional intelligence is going to be so important for you to future-proof your career. Now, my last slide before I pass it on to my friend here, Felicia, is again, we've talked about visibility and purpose being, those are the keys to longevity and a great career, right? Again, the pointers I have here is that your background is an advantage, it's not a limitation. Trust me, you may feel, I grew up poor, I grew up in Africa, blah, blah, blah. That is not, I should have added something on this slide. I have something I add in my presentations at work that talks about my being different is my superpower. That's my superpower. Um, Africa's digital future needs you. There's so much work that needs to be done. We need your voice. We need your contributions. We need your breakthroughs, right? And staying visible is a career strategy. You can do that in different ways. Like in the previous slide, I talked about ResearchGate, LinkedIn. There are places to put your accomplishment, not as a resume to show off, but instead as a learning journal, and also seeing what others are doing and learning from it as well. Do not shrink to make other people comfortable. That's something that we have to learn, especially as African women. It's very easy for us to shrink, especially to make men comfortable. Do not do that. And not every woman is also going to support you. Don't even assume that. There are people who are competitive who need to pull others down to feel like they belong. Watch out for that. That's where emotional intelligence is going to help you. Stay curious, always wanting to learn and know. Stay visible. Don't hide yourself, right? And stay in the room. What I mean by that is that stay in it, even when it gets uncomfortable, even when you want to quit. Stay in it, right? Because a STEM career is built by women a lasting STEM career is built by women who decide not to leave and stay. So I hope I've been helpful with a few tidbits, and a lot of this is a reflection of my own life. We don't have a lot of time to go in detail, but I'll hand you off now to Felicia, and then just keep putting your questions in the chat. We will come to that very soon. All right.
Hello, good morning, good evening. I'm very excited to join my dear friend Ruth talking to you today. I'm very excited about this audience. I'm very passionate about the future of young women in the world today. And if there's anything that I can do to pour into you, to help encourage you, motivate you, uplift you, I'm happy to offer those words of encouragement, both online and offline. Just a little bit about my background. I know many of you are familiar with Ruth, but you probably are not familiar with me, again, my name is Felicia. My background really includes working at Microsoft and Liberty Mutual previously. I've been a senior manager, middle manager, frontline manager, team lead, program manager. I've held a lot of different roles. I have about 15 years of tech and risk management experience um, as an operations leader and a personnel leader. My focus areas have really included business operations, people strategy, product and product management, and I have a lot of experience leading startup departments. So a lot of experience hiring people, growing people, developing people, and I have a passion for that. Current role is a little bit different. I work for a company known as Meta. They're the owners of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Threads, several other social media platforms and initiatives. I have the pleasure of working to develop executive strategy for planning people culture. I lead a 22-person program management organization of program managers and technical program managers. And we're really responsible for everything from campus operations to technical services. We're responsible for academic relations, headcount, budget, all the things that help the business run. Um, and I will say I didn't start as a professional. I think that's where my slides start. But much like Ruth, I was a young girl too. And um, in my life, and in my family, sometimes families have a tendency to typecast their children, right? So to label their kids. And in my family, I was always told, oh, she'll be the domestic one, right? And the reality is, yes, I can make a mean steak, but I'm also a really darn good businesswoman as well. And I say that to you because we all have many skills, many abilities, and many hats that we wear. And there's the opportunity to excel at all of them. And I pride myself on just being a very versatile person. So from hearing that as a kid, I wasn't a very strong student in high school. But as I got to college, I understood the importance of buckling down a little bit better. So I had the opportunity to go and get an undergraduate degree in journalism. And then a master's degree in public administration. And then I got a doctorate in social work. I'm gonna pause for 1 second. I see some hands are raised. Is there something
Yeah,
happening?
we'll take the questions after. I think people
Okay.
want to ask questions, so they
Oh,
may
got it.
pick one.
Okay. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if there was a
Just let me
system.
know when to go to the next slide. Yeah.
Awesome. Yes. So I persevered through those labels into the woman I am today. I got my doctorate in social work from the University of Southern California. And just to recap, I'm originally from here in the USA. I'm from Portland, Oregon, which is on the western side. It's near California and Canada and Washington. So it's on the western side of the USA if you're not familiar. We can move on to the next slide.
Okay.
So there are 7 tips that I have to building a career that lasts. And these are things that I have practiced myself, but that I also advise other young people to persevere through and exhibit. The first one is to never stop networking, and you're going to hear that a lot, but I think every opportunity to interact with people you should capitalize on. The first thing about never stopping to networking or strategic networking is that you should really network at all levels. People think that in order to land your next role, your next opportunity, or get your foot in the door somewhere, that you need to hobnob with the CEO or a high-level executive. I want to let you know that my first job I got because I knew the person that worked the front desk of the building, right? And that person is the most connected. And so she told me about an open role that they had, and I applied and I landed that role. And it's because I networked at all levels. So build genuine connection across people from diverse backgrounds, diverse positions. And I think that will have a lot of great opportunity for you. The second thing that I want to encourage you to do, and this is an exercise you can do at a future date or if you have a few minutes, I really encourage you to sit down and write your 30-second pitch. So if you were to run into your dream connection and whoever it is, it could be, the STEM, the highest ranking engineer in your engineering class. of study, you should be able to very quickly tell them who you are, what your aspirations are, and what you hope to get from the conversation. So I encourage each of you to at some point sit down and work on your 30-second pitch and practice it and run it with your peers, just to get comfortable talking about yourself and talking about your goals. The thing about networking, and sometimes culturally as women, in some ways this is universal, we're discouraged from talking about ourselves. We're discouraged about talking about what makes us great. But in order to really network and grow your career in any area, you have to be very knowledgeable about who you are and what you have to offer. So I want to encourage you to get comfortable talking about yourself, get comfortable talking about what makes you great, and to do so by practicing your 30-second pitch. Um, the second thing, and I think Ruth touched on this a little bit, is really around tracking your impact. Um, it's really important that you have evidence of your progress. Otherwise, you will lose track of all the things that made you great and the journey that you're on. One of the key ways that I track my impact is when I'm working in a role, I have a spreadsheet and I just go in and when I've accomplished something really major, I've worked on a really major project, I'm just documenting what I did and what my contributions are. And it seems like a small thing, but we really have short memories. And so what it ended up happening is that when I go to interview for my next big role, I have a sheet where I'm like, oh yeah, I led this, I led that. And I'm able to have really strong talking points about what I've done, how I've grown. And it helps me rejog my memory. As to what I have accomplished, and it helps me be more confident when I walk into that next opportunity. So I want you to track your impact. I've also done things like track my earning or track my scores or track different things so that I can look back and have evidence of the success and of all the supernatural things that have happened in my life. The third area that I want to encourage you to do is to leverage your volunteer hours to grow your skills. It's really hard to transition from a student to a professional. And it's challenging because a lot of employers want experience. And there are a lot of experienced people out there in the work world, and that is extremely competitive. So one of the ways that you can get your foot in the door and get the experience that you need to land a profession is to find opportunities to volunteer, whether it's in your local chapter, whether it's in WOW, whether it's in other distinct areas of study, finding your nearest nonprofit and asking them and pitching your skills, and creating work product that they will give you permission to use as part of a work portfolio is a great way to earn real life experience that you can leverage outside of your academics, but then also help you build the story that you're going to need when it's time for you to apply for a full-time permanent job. The fourth one is a little bit harder, and it really has a lot of cross-cultural references. Um, as women, I think in the workplace, you're going to find, and I think Ruth gave a bunch of examples, times where she had to advocate for herself, right? Where you had to speak up. You can't both let people undermine your work, or make you feel small. You have to find ways to advocate for fairness, fair treatment, and you have to do it in a strategic and calculated way. For me, it has been about documentation, right? So, um, creating alignment when I'm working with people in the work world, in teams or in groups, making sure I have a clear work plans for myself, that I'm tracking others' work plans, and if other people aren't getting their stuff done, finding a diplomatic way to navigate those conversations. But what we can't afford to do as people, and especially as women, is to allow the ball to be dropped and take the blame and take the blame in silence. And so you'll know within your culture and within your life what is the right measure. But I can say very confidently in a universal way, throughout your career, you're going to find yourself having to advocate for yourself and be strategic about it. And I want you to encourage you now, as even as a young woman, to be thinking about what that looks like as a student, as an aspiring professional, and encourage you to run past your trusted advisors around you in the best ways to navigate that. The fifth thing that I wanted to just advocate, and I had to learn this the hard way, and I've actually learned it in recent years, It's really important to master the things you don't like. If you find yourself really disliking something, right, there is a good chance there's probably something in it for you to learn. I was in a role a few years ago where I truly disliked a segment of the work that I had to do. And disliked it so much, but as I was required to master it and I leaned in and I overcame the challenges within it, um, I not only gained confidence in that area and proficiency, but I gained a story of overcoming. And much of your interview process when you meet with leaders and professionals to interview, they want to hear those stories. They want to hear about, like, I wasn't good at this. Here's how I applied myself. This is what I learned. Now I'm excellent at it. They want to hear about your journey. They want you to demonstrate what is often called the STAR method, right? And so by mastering the things that you don't like, you are building that story of triumph that you can share with future leaders and other people that are going to come behind you in your journey. In my particular case, I disliked a particular task area so much. I mastered that area. And do you know my next big promotion and my next big raise actually was associated with the thing I hated? So I truly believe that supernatural, there was a path for me to be on and that I needed to overcome that thing in order to go where I was supposed to go next. So lean in a little bit more into the things that you dislike, because there could be something on the other end of that. And then number six is around getting on the AI bandwagon. We absolutely have no choice but as women in STEM or even women in the world today to get on board with artificial intelligence, with understanding the inner workings, the under behind the scenes workings, as well as applying it to our daily work and using it to drive innovation and disruption. So one of the key things, if you haven't spent a lot of time in AI, that I would encourage you to do, is first and foremost, if you can, start looking for resources to help you build your vocabulary around AI. What is it? What are keywords? How can I begin talking the talk? And then where you may have access, leveraging different components of AI. So some of you may have access to things like um, answer engines or AI answer engines that will produce results that give you guidance and direction. Um, Begin using those answer engines to help shape your understanding of AI. And those of you who don't have access, maybe you're the future. Maybe you're going to introduce that to your country, your region, and to the people around you. But lean into the AI world. It's absolutely not going away, and it can be used to help drive efficiency in your work product and save you time and money, which is what we all want to do in the end. And then last but not least, the world is changing and shifting fast. I think I just got done talking about AI. Like with AI, the future is bright, but it also looks a lot different than it has in the past. And so where many of us have often relied on a permanent long-term job at one place, and my parents, for example, in the region that they live in, it's not unknown to work at one place for 30 years, right? That was true for them. But in today's society, we don't see that as often. And so it's become increasingly important for you, I, and others to develop an entrepreneur spirit. So continue to pursue STEM and continue to pursue your studies. But maybe the path for you looks a little bit more like creating your own products and services and marketing them and earning income that way. Or some of us may need to begin exploring a dual approach. So I work my regular job at Meta that I'm fortunate to have. And then outside of work, I actually have started to dabble into things like real estate and property management and hospitality because I know that nothing is guaranteed when it comes to being employed by someone else. So I want you to continue to develop your entrepreneurial spirit, whichever way fits you, but just know that there's some duality that will be necessary to persevere in the world today. Those are my seven career tips. Again, I have an open book, open door policy. I think my email is in the chat. If you ever want to shoot me an email, you're more than welcome, and I would love to connect.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Yes, I stopped sharing the slides so that we can take questions now. Thank you for sharing all those. I even learned something new.
Mhm.
I learned some new tips from that. Um, all right. So do we have questions in the chat? I see two hands raised. Um, who's coordinating, Wura or Timmy? What's the plan here?
Yeah,
Do I
so
just
we're going to give room for those whose hands are raised. Then I'll keep checking the chat room to then I'll just read out the questions when we move to the chat segment. So
okay?
Elga, you have the floor.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Felicia and Dr. Ruth, for your wonderful presentations. I am Helga, and I school in Cameroon, an undergraduate student in Cameroon studying computer engineering. I am passionate about cybersecurity, and I would love to specialize in it because computer engineering is quite broad. But I have gotten some trainings. I have gone through online courses, and I just do not feel confident because I've not been able to put in what I have learned. I've not been able to apply what I have learned in the real world. I have tried applying for internships where I am, and it's not so easy to get into it. I've tried online. Sometimes I'll not even receive feedback messages that you were rejected or something. So, how do I navigate this? Since I think internships or even the slightest hands on experience is better than 20 courses that I take online. How do I navigate this part of my career?
Okay, before we start answering questions, thank you for that, Helga. I also want Lucy. Lucy, like I introduced her in the beginning. Lucy, are you around? Do you want to come off mute and say hello? And
Hi,
also
I'm here.
introduce yourself. Okay, go ahead and yeah. Go ahead, say hello and introduce yourself, please. But I spoke about you a little in the beginning, but you go ahead and do it too.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, I lost my voice this morning, but I still wanted to show up just to say hello to everyone. So, yeah, hi everyone. I hope you can hear me or manage my voice. It'll be not too bad. Okay, so my name is Lucy, and I've been in WAAW since 2013. I began like you all. I was a college fellow with my friend. My friend got the scholarship, and then I volunteered to, contribute to giving back to girls in my community. And then after studies, I got to work with WAAW Foundation for about 4 years. And then through WAAW Foundation as well, I got the Commonwealth Scholarship that made me to study in the UK now, that made me to study in the UK for my master's program. And while I was in Africa, I was very interested in transitioning back into engineering because I had my background in chemical engineering, and I had interest um in the line of renewable energy, sustainable energy. So that was the line I did my master's on. And yeah, glory to God, I got my first job in the UK in the energy sector, and I'm currently practicing as an engineer here in the UK. So yeah, my advice for you guys is just know that your dreams are valid. Whatever you want to achieve, it is doable. Like someone that just asked about how do you get into the industry? What I would tell you is back there in Africa, we do not have so much opportunity for us to really grow. It is very limited. I was surprised that after my studies, my first job here was in the energy sector, where I couldn't get an opportunity when I was back home in Nigeria, right? But I kept pushing, I kept applying, I kept networking. I know Felicia and Ruth talked about networking before. I kept networking using LinkedIn most importantly to connect to professionals. I just say hello to them, send random email to recruiters to say, oh, this is my profile. I have interest in this program. Do you have opportunity for me? I'm a young graduate. I'm happy to volunteer. So what I would say is please seek opportunities, no matter how little it is, even if it's for you to work for free, for you to intern, do all of that and add that to your portfolio. And also try to make yourself visible. Use social media as a tool to bring you out there because you're not sure who is looking at you or who is watching you. I'll give you a story. I just got into a new job, like I'm 4 months into a new job. And one of the things that struck my interviewer or my current employer is the fact that I am doing so many things. And one of them is I mentor people about how to get scholarships. This does not relate to my job, engineering, but they love the fact that out of me building a career for myself, I also want to give back, and I'm putting my work out there. So whatever you do, try to be visible, use your network really well, and just keep pushing. Do not give up, and just keep, doing what you want.
If I could add one
Thank you.
thing, too, I think you did the first step, and that's one, speaking up and saying, "Hey, this is an area where I need help," which is ironic because Helga, my best friend is Emmanuel. He is one of my best friends. Ruth's my first best friend. Let's get that right. My second best friend is Emmanuel. And, he is a cybersecurity engineer at Pepsi. He's actually on the line. I'm going to connect you to him. He has a couple of tips that he just texted me and said he can share with you. So the first step is just to speak up. And I think you did that. And then I'm going to give you a connection. So go ahead and ping me on the chat, and I'll give you some information to connect back to us.
Very lovely. Very,
Yeah.
very great. You see,
Okay.
again, like Lucy said, and I think a question in the chat from Tian answer. He or she said, so to push through the middle, do we just adjust to things, adjust how to manage things? Yes, exactly. That's what to do. You just keep pushing. You just keep all the advice you've received today. That's what we're saying. Persist, persist. Keep doing what you need to do to stay. Keep studying, keep applying, the middle is going to get hard. I talked about my experience. I mean, if your professor gives you a paper and it's all red, what do I do? Do I just fall apart? No. You figure out how to fix it. You figure out how to keep moving. You figure out to correct your mistakes, right? So I hope that answers your question. Your hand is up. Do you want to say something else? Go ahead.
Yes, hello, and thank you for the session. It was very clear and it was helpful, but I just wanted to ask, like, is it possible, like, if we work and then we came back to studying again? Because, like, due to financial reason, like, we are not like we don't have the possibilities to further our studies. So like does that means I'm like in the middle and then after and I can keep going again? Thank you.
Uh, I'm not sure if that was a question or are you saying that you have financial difficulties or are you like is what I would say, right, in terms of there are many free tools and free courses and free education online. So I don't think that like I personally went through financial difficulties as well before I got my scholarships. In fact, I was about to quit before I got it. But I think that where there's a will, there's a way. So there are many free things online you can keep learning and leveraging and whatever is available to you with your school or with your mentors or whoever you've met and like you can reach out to and ask questions, right? So there are many people looking for these scholarships. Not everybody's going to get it, but continue to believe in your dreams, continue to hang in there. And, like Felicia said, the world is changing. Start thinking of also what you can create, what you can sell, what you can develop, right? Not just waiting for scholarship to go the traditional route. Maybe that's not the route for you, right? So that's why we're giving a very broad and very practical feedback. This is from coming from our own experiences and the experiences of people in our lives. Okay. All right. I think we should there's another question in the chat about, I want to know how you identify the right opportunities that align with your long-term vision. Most times I just see opportunities and jump into them. At the end, I keep feeling like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. Okay. Um, I feel like this is a very personal thing. I can speak for myself. I can't really speak for you and why things may not be working for you. Maybe you are jumping into it for the wrong reasons. Maybe there's no purpose tied to what you're doing. You're just like, oh, this came, I'm going to do it. Like for me, identifying the right opportunities. I feel like the opportunities I had almost came when there were no other options, right? That was just the next best thing for me, or somebody offered me a role, and well, the only other thing was not as good as that, right? So I feel like my my own inner intuition as well, like something in me, after asking all the questions, because if an opportunity comes, I also want to ask the questions. I want to understand it, like why and all of that. But then inside me, I feel like this is the right thing for me to do at this time, right? So that's why I said it's a fairly personal journey. I have my own process where I can see the questions I ask. There are things that I will see, like if I'm to go and work for a future boss, there are questions I'll ask him to understand or her. Why do you do things this way? What do you believe in? What are your values? And then if it aligns with me, that's an opportunity. I consider a right opportunity. So again, it's like long-term vision. Don't be too caught up in what a long-term vision is. I didn't know that I was going to end up in Microsoft in this kind of role. I wanted to work for the Gates Foundation. That's why I went to work for Microsoft, because I felt they were close enough. And I started growing in Microsoft and really enjoying what I do. And then I never really cared to look for the Gates Foundation job. Now, if I keep it in my mind that I must do this is my long-term vision, then I'm going to keep feeling like the opportunities I'm getting are not aligned to where I want to be. You see what I mean? Because I'm so fixated on something, right? That's another thing maybe we didn't talk about enough. You need to have in mind that, or you need to have an outlook that's flexible, because you may want to end up in South Africa, but Russia is what's in the cards for you, right? So, but if you keep feeling like this is the place I want to go only, then when other opportunities open for you, you don't open yourself to them, right? So for you who has had opportunities that you end up feeling like I'm doing what I'm not supposed to do, maybe you need to ask yourself questions. What are my values? What are my non-negotiables? Like, what are the things that will come that I would definitely be open to taking, and what's like a no, like this kind of opportunity, going to live in this city or this town, doesn't align with me. You see what I mean? So it's a process to really feel like you're aligning with where you want to be, and there will be many things that happen along the way that will make you feel like maybe I'm not doing the right thing, right? So I don't know if I help answer your questions. I think that a lot of self-awareness will help you, and really finding what your purpose is and why you don't seem to be doing things that align with that. So another question, I'll give this one to you, Felicia. It says, you spoke about building a professional global relationship. How do you build a meaningful professional relationship without seeming desperate?
Good question. I think Lucy mentioned to leveraging LinkedIn. That's probably the largest international portfolio I have professionally. And so some of that is just about reaching out to other people with intention, right? I get a lot of pings on LinkedIn that lack intention, right? It's like, hi, how are you? I want to get into your area. It's like, okay, how can I help you, right? Because so I would say, if you're looking to build an international network, LinkedIn is one platform, social media is another platform, being thoughtful and being careful, but pitching yourself with intention. Hi, I'm so and so. I am interested in this area, and here's why I'm interested in connecting with you because here's how I believe you can help me, right? I think that's a good way to start to build a relationship. Um, and then, two, not everyone is open to it, so they may not respond, but you just keep connecting until you find someone who is interested in building that connection. I think last but not least, everyone is kind of using the same platform mechanism to connect with people. I think it's become increasingly important to set yourself apart. So one thing that I've done with LinkedIn, because I get so many requests and messages to connect with me, I've actually made a video, like a standard video response, like, hey, here's an overview of my journey. Here's who I am. Here's some tips. Here's some advice. And so I usually send that back to the person. But if you really wanted to stand out in building your international network, you might want to consider making a video of yourself if you have the opportunity, and sending that to whatever professional that you are trying to build a connection with. So get creative in how you interact with people and get prescriptive about how they can help you and what it is that you're seeking from your connection with them. And then knowing that not everyone is going to buy it, but it's not necessarily a reflection of you. We're all just super busy and we all have different interests and priorities. So.
Yeah, thank you for that. Lucy, do you want to add to that, or should we just go on to the next question? You're good. Okay, so Vincent wrote a very long thing, and he's a long post, and he said that he said I was talking about visibility and purpose, leading to longevity, and that background is an advantage, not a limitation. And he's wondering, is she really from Nigeria? Yes, I am very super Nigerian. And does she know how things work here or how things have been? So you're already limiting yourself by what you're saying, right? Like Lucy can tell you her experience. I don't want to speak for Lucy, but I think I'll give Lucy the opportunity to speak. Lucy works in the UK today. Do you know how she started and how she came up? She had stories to tell. Like we didn't have it easy, right? But the mentality you already have that, oh, do you know how things work here? Is going to limit you. It's going to limit you because you're already putting yourself in a position of disadvantage, right? And all we've been saying from the beginning of this thing has been how to stand out, how to stay in the sciences, how to grow, how to this and that. We haven't necessarily talked about, because you come from a rural area, you cannot make it and become great. Who told you that? There's so many people I know that came from abject poverty in their lives who are billionaires today, who are millionaires. You see them on TV, you see them in places, So that mindset of your background is a limitation for you, it's a very wrong mindset, and you need to erase it immediately. Your question says, how can young women in STEM intentionally position themselves for opportunities in environments where visibility and recognition are limited? That's a good question. And we've shared a lot of that. I think Felicia even just answered that, proactively, right? There are platforms where you can share who you are, where you can make contributions. But again, what are you contributing? What have you achieved? Right? First of all, it's not just about look at me showing yourself. Like, do the work, get the degree, put in the effort. Like, you don't start by jumping to show yourself. Like, a lot of us went through a lot for years being invisible, being very invisible. Like, I feel like Gen Z or the newer generation, and that's not to put any generation down, is so because of social media. Look at me, I'm this, I'm that, my content is this. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to put in the work. You have to study. You have to pass your exams. You have to get the awards. There's a lot of things before you start talking about visibility and recognition. What do you want to be recognized for? What have you added to humanity? What have you like? And I'm getting real with you here because I think somebody needs to say these things, right? What have you contributed to science in your field that you want to be visible and recognized for? So the talk we're giving is for people who are working hard, are in the trenches, are struggling to make it, are wanting to contribute to society, are wanting to give back. That comes before recognition. Recognition is the byproduct of putting in the work and being invisible for years. I got my PhD 13 years ago, right? So we're not talking like we just quickly came from somewhere and now today we're directors. It takes time. It takes time and hard work and persistence and intentional growth. Okay, so I don't know if that's answering your question or that's kind of like a spanking, but but I want Lucy to contribute. There's another question there that says, looking back at your journey, what is one decision or mindset that significantly accelerated your growth in STEM? And how can we apply that early in our careers? Now, I also see speed here. You want to be fast, significant, growth, speed. Calm down. It's going to be okay. Just pace yourself, take your time. But I want Lucy to take that question if you can. It's from Vincent is above. Like maybe if you read his chat quickly and then you want to answer like what's the mindset shift? And I think we shared quite a few of that throughout the presentations. But if you want to maybe recap for him, that would be great.
Yeah, so one I will talk about is, I think, like what Dr. Rose just said, you have to take it easy with yourself and start from where you are. I remember, even currently, if you're applying for scholarships, for instance, they will ask you, what do you do to impact your community? You want money from them, right? You want them to fund you to come to school abroad. But what have you done in your own little way to impact your little community, even if you feel you don't have anything? So you have to start from somewhere. And that is what will bring that visibility for you. And wherever you are now, for me, I see wherever I am, an opportunity for me to go to the next level. If I do not do well where I am now, I am not sure I'm going to get to the next level in a better way or in a better style. So just take it one step at a time and look out for opportunity where you are for you to grow. For me, when I was done with my bachelor's, I did chemical engineering. I've always had interest to practice as a woman in engineering. But I began with WAAW Foundation as a program manager. And then I was like, okay, I have interest in engineering. And I was doing projects in STEM, renewable energy, which was in line with what I see as my future goals. So I was doing more of curriculum development, hands-on activities with students and teachers, but in line with where I want to be. And then I was able to apply for opportunities. So if I had not used that opportunity for me to build that path for myself, I am not sure I'll be where I am today. So just start from where you are and build the momentum gradually. Because if we talk about where we came from, we will not live here today. Trust me, we will not live here today. So just build with what you have currently. And I pray that God grants all your heart desires.
Oh, my dear, I'm sorry. You need warm water, honey, ginger, all of the above. Yes. Yes. So that has been shared. I don't know. I think there's one other question in the chat. I'm going to need to drop off in about five. We need to drop off in about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes here. But you said, what advice can you give to someone in STEM with innovative ideas that need to be birthed, but doesn't know who to meet or the right persons to guide through to bringing that idea into reality? Felicia, do you want to take that one? Someone with innovative ideas. It's in the chat. You're on mute. It's by Cynthia Lucci.
Yes. So I would say never stop innovating, never stop creating, and never stop publishing and producing your work for mass consumption where possible, right? So we have a lot of opportunities around social media and others where you can showcase your skill and your talent. So um, just continue to focus on creativity and as well as developing skill and comprehension around being an expert at that work. And knowing that the journey that's for you is for you. When we think about some of our most notable creators, a lot of their breakthrough innovation actually wasn't connected to what university they went to. It was, what they built in at, their basement, their garage, or their home, or their location, and how they hustled to get it visibility for it. So just continue to persevere toward your goals.
Yeah. And I think that you can also make contacts with people who are in the field that you're innovating in, right? That's what we talked about before, the whole idea of like connecting and networking. You can send videos, you can send prototypes of the work you're doing. You can there are forums online that where people are sharing what they're doing and are showing it. Like that's the benefit of this of social media as well, right? Because you say you don't know who to. So it depends on what field you have. If it's the chemistry in chemist innovation, look for some, renowned chemists. Send them notes. Many times people's official emails can be found online. You have to also be very ambitious about like not just the innovative idea, but how you will get it out there, right? Because a lot of people are innovating, by the way. Like what you may even think is innovative has been thought of by someone else, right? So if you don't try to put it out there or find people who are experts in that field to connect with and showcase, then somebody else may have already shipped that idea like last year and you don't even know that something similar is out there. And if you're in academics, then also read papers, journals, try to submit papers about your work. A lot of innovation also came through journals, right? Where people read things and then they contact you and then they want to develop something with you. So there are many outlets that you can explore. And this is why having a mentor, a coach, a professor, your advisor, all of that, people who can help you and walk through some of these questions and challenges you may have. It's very important and very helpful. Hopefully that answered that question. Last question, I think here. Is it possible to be a jack of all trades in STEM or one just has to specialize? I don't know that you can be a jack of all trades in STEM. Like, I mean, Like people do PhDs on the tiniest thing, like the tiniest thing in the tiniest thing of a nucleus. Like, so right, I feel like scientists sometimes are the most ignorant people because they only know very deeply about their own thing, right? So depends on how deep you want to go as well. If you want to go super deep in an area, you cannot be a jack of all trades because you can't go learn the millions of organisms and model systems, and there's just so much to learn in STEM, right? It's so broad. And so I will advise to do something that you're really interested in and that you can specialize in, especially if you're interested in a doctorate or if you're interested in more. Now, I am not using my doctorate for what I did today. My doctorate just helps me, had helped me think critically, write well, solve problems innovatively. So there are other skills that are a byproduct of my STEM PhD, right? So in that case, I'm like a jack, what you may call a jack of all trade, because I didn't continue like in that profession as a specialist, right? I used the skills I gained to do other things in the world of STEM. So that's maybe that's what you're asking. And I kind of feel like Felicia is also a jack of all trade in that way because she's a director of strategy and operations. So she's helping the scientists to be more productive in their work, right? She's not deep down in the lab with them, but she's making sure that they have the right support, the right environment to work in, the right culture, the right strategy. Like, you see what I mean? So in that case, she has zoomed out, just like my job zooms me out. Now, Lucy is a little bit different. Lucy is like more of a specialist and like in one field. So it's going to be different for everybody. And as you grow in your career, it will come clearer to you what you prefer to do. Do you want to stay as a specialist and very deep, special specialize, or do you want to instead like come up more and do like more of a what Felicia and I do today? So hopefully that has helped. Yeah, you're still a baby. Don't worry. You soon babies mature fast. You're getting there. Um, yeah. Thank you so much for having us. Wura, I want to hand this back to you. I want to thank my friends Felicia and Lucy for joining me today. This has been really great. And we enjoyed the session, the questions. Hopefully we answered all your questions. Okay, Mofing has her hand up.
Yes,
So
thank
that's
you.
absolutely the last question. Let's
Yeah.
take you and then we will call it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you. And I am grateful for the webinar. So my name is Mofin Follow, and I'm a Nigerian, and I recently finished my bachelor's degree in electrical electronics engineering. And going off school, I realized there's so much gap in my practical and industry exposure. So I'm trying as much as possible to take courses and also have practical skills. But I'm at a point now whereby I feel like I'm just on the path of trying to know so much and not and applying so little. So right now it's more or less like I feel like I don't know anything. So I try to keep on pressing more into knowledge. And the more I'm trying to know, the more I feel like I don't know. And I don't know the point I have to eventually, settle, not exactly settle, but take a pause and apply the things I actually know. So right now it's kind of confusing because I don't know, should I keep on pursuing knowledge or should I take a pause at some point and try to start applying what I already know without feeling too overwhelmed, or because it's more like I don't have a structure to what I'm doing because I'm just learning. So I would like to get maybe insights or things that will just, help me, have a better mind to what I'm doing.
Well, what do you enjoy? Do you enjoy learning?
Yes, I enjoy learning to the end that I apply, but sometimes I feel like there's this knowledge gap that doesn't allow me to independently say I want to start a project from start to finish.
So that means you still have more to learn.
Yeah,
I don't,
yeah, I
do you
do.
so do you have an opportunity to practice what you're learning?
To a larger extent, not really.
Okay, so that answers the question. So keep learning then, right? Because like you can't stop learning because you haven't been able to apply what you're learning. So I wouldn't stop, right? I would just keep learning and learning and learning as much as I can, right? And in doing that, then it will be clearer to you what you really enjoy in everything you're learning, right? I think that you are at the age where you probably have the time. There's no husband or baby, like, you know, taking away your attention. This is where your brain is hot. absorbing so much. Learn, learn, learn. Learn AI, learn, just become an expert in your field. And you may think that you can apply it, but a lot of professors have never touched what they're working on necessarily, right? It depends on what it is. Like there are many people that are philosophers, right? You learn, you write, you synthesize, you so there's a lot of opportunity for you to keep learning. And a lot of fields right now can be synthesized online. Like can be you can interact with different fields online to build things, to understand things, especially AI. So I think that I think you should keep learning. I don't think you should settle. You're not even close to settling yet or trying to apply things. If you don't have an environment or an opportunity to apply what you're learning, then you should absolutely keep learning. For now. I don't know if you all want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I would like to add to that as well. So while learning, also know when you want to get practical experience. Personally, for me, I know that at a point in my life, I will get back to school to do my PhD. But I told myself that I don't want to go do my PhD blindly. I would like to get professional experience, get to a stage for me to know where there is a gap in my field, and then I get to do my PhD in where I have identified the gap. So I'm going back to school to learn further, for me to be able to solve a problem. Now I'm in the field, building my professional experience while knowing what I would want to do on the next phase. So also know when you need to also get practical skills. So you don't spend, yeah, for some people, they are good in academics. Some people don't want to do hands-on. So just know what works for you and what is in long-term plan for you.
Yeah.
So you don't
Yeah.
spend time over there and losing from the other end. So that will be my
Right. Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful for your support here. Uh, Bura, please take it away. And we will need to drop off
Okay.
shortly here. But yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Go
you so
ahead.
much, Dr. Ruth. Thank you, Dr. Felicia and Lucy. I mean, Dr. Ruth, you pulled out this force of women, and we're super, super, super excited for this. And to our fellows, your questions, your engagement drove this, and we're really grateful as well. So please let's recognize, let's appreciate these amazing, amazing women. Thank you once again, Dr. Ruth. Thank you, Dr. Felicia. And thank you, Lucy, as always, for being a part of this. We truly, deeply appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Yes. Thank you.
Hi guys, we hope this was worth your time. Me, I'm sure it was worth your time. And thanks so much for engaging with our guests. I mean, you guys' question drove the conversation. We're grateful for that. So thank you guys as well. We hope that beyond this talk, right, you take out a couple of things that you've learned and start applying. I really like the summary, and you can check the chat room. I like David Christiana's summary, something we can all revisit. I feel like this is like a reminder to also, if you want to do a screenshot of it to support what you currently have, please do. But she writes, I believe David Christiana is a she. Confidence is built by staying, not waiting to feel ready. Difficulty is not a sign you don't belong. Sign you don't belong. Don't walk away when things get hard. Keep growing. Learn how to think analytically, this is one thing I really took out as well for myself. So in conclusion, our struggle, and I like the way she personalized this, that the struggle you face in your chapter, in your life, is the signal for growth. So thank you so much, David Christiana, for putting this together, and for every documentation that you've also had individually. Please let's run with it. Don't let's just write. Let's run with it. Let's follow our guests that joined the call on LinkedIn as well. Again, they talked about it, that it's an open door for them, so you can engage with them beyond this this connect that we have. And let's just go out there to do great things. So this is me handing it over back to Lillian to take it up from here. Hi, Lillian.
Yeah, I can
Awesome.
hear you. My background is a little noisy right now. Okay, so I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, Lillian, we can hear you.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time. This is already 30, my aim. So we'll just kick it off. Sorry, the network can allow me share my screen. I don't know if you can share my screen with your own screen, Laura, please.
No, not anymore. I one thing, I'm so sorry
Okay,
about
we'll
the
just
logistics today has just been funny from both ends. So you guys know that this is not us. Today was just unpredictable. So Lillian, you can go on with or without the screen.
okay. So everyone, still on our rituals every month, we always call out outreaches that we have or that we had during the month. But this for this session, we'll be going through Q1 outreaches, all the outreaches we've had from the beginning of the year up to this time. So today marks the end of Q1. So we're going to be retracing all the outreaches that we had over the quarter from January till March. And with that, we'll unveil our Q2. And we want to say, keep up the good work. And we see you. We see you. We see you. We take note of everything that is happening in your chapter. And we want to say that you keep on doing the great work. So for our Q1 outreaches, we had a total of 35 outreaches Q1. Please clap for yourself in the chat room because it's incredible, very incredible. We pulled it off and we made a successful 35 outreaches this Q1, and it was carried out by 17 chapters. So all of these 17 chapters, we are proud of you. And all of these outreaches was handled in Cameroon, some in Congo, some in Egypt, others in Kenya, others in Nigeria, then we have Rwanda, and then Sudan. We empowered over 3,069 girls. That's incredible. And we are super proud of us for having covered this feat. And in these outreaches, 155 teachers availed themselves during that session. And the total of 3,992 students were impacted. You can see we were almost hitting 4,000 impacts this quarter. And we know we can always do more. So without much ado, we just go over all of the chapters that had outreaches this month, this quarter, since we're already behind time. So first off on our list is the Adventist University of Central Africa. They had 2 outreaches this quarter. Actually, this chapter kicked off the session or kicked off the year with outreaches. So we are really proud of you, the AUCA chapter. You people have done marvelously well. And the next is African Leadership University. African Leadership University had 1 outreach this session. The next is Amuktaribin University, Sudan. This chapter had a total of 5 outreaches this quarter, and she is the highest recorded outreach for this quarter. The next, the Federal University of Technology, Mina. They also had 2 outreaches this session or this quarter. The next is the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. They had 2 outreaches this quarter. Next is the Harare Institute of Technology. They had 2 outreaches this session or this quarter. I'm always saying session, sorry. Next is the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Nigeria. They had an outreach, just 1 outreach this quarter. Next, the Moi University, Kenya. Moi University had 4 outreaches this quarter. Next is the Obafemi Awolowo University, our chapter of the month for last year. They had 3 outreaches delivered last month, and we are super proud of them. Next, the Olabisi Onabanjo University. They carried out 1 outreach this quarter. And the next, the Tanta University. Tanta University delivered 2 outreaches this quarter. The University of Bamenda had 3 outreaches this quarter. And the next is the ULPGL Congo. This chapter delivered 1 outreach this quarter. Next is the University Numeric Sheikh Hamidu. I'm always finding it difficult to pronounce this chapter, but whatever it is, they did well and delivered 1 outreach this quarter. And the next is the University of Ibadan. University of Ibadan, Nigeria, delivered 1 outreach. And the next is the University of Kigali. University of Kigali had 1 outreach this session. And the last but not the least is the University of Rwanda. They delivered 2 outreaches this session. Please make some noise in the chat room. People have done well. I didn't go for this outreach myself. I mean, I was counting on you and you guys delivered me. So celebrate yourselves in the chat room. I know that we are getting tired of the call. It's getting too long. So we are going to dive right into this chapter of special recognition. Our chapter of special recognition goes to, I don't know if anybody can guess. Can someone guess for me in the chat room? Please guess. The chapter of special recognition, chapter that is showing that's pulling weight, raising up their head, want to be noticed, they are doing so well. Can you guess for me in the chat room? Let me see your guesses. Let me see your guesses, please. Oh, you can't see the screen. Sorry, the screen is not being shared right now. Our network is down. Oh, someone said I'm Caribbean University. Wow, okay. That's a nice guess. University of Bamenda. Wow, Jesus. Okay. Well, which other university, which other chapter is coming up as chapter of special recognition? We want to just sing out your praise. We want to shout out your praise. Chapter of special recognition goes to the Federal University of Technology, Mina, Nigeria. They are doing so well. They are engaging us. You need to see their social media pages these days. Unlike last year, they have been doing so well, and we want to really recognize them. We want to tell them that we see them, we see you, you are doing well, your shoulders are going up, and the fire that you're fanning, the flames are going up as well. So Footspinner, congratulations on being the rising chapter of the month. And then the one with the prize. Someone should tell me guess the chapter of the month, please. I want to know if we are really following each other up across our chapters. So even if you're in Congo, in Kenya, in Cameroon, in Nigeria, in Rwanda, in Senegal, Zimbabwe, Zambia, are you following up each other? We are all sisters scattered across the globe. So let's see if we can guess the chapter of the month. Remember, our criteria for choosing chapter of the month this quarter would be the chapter that showcased a girl in STEM. Remember, we celebrated IWD, International Women's Day, on March 8th, but we stretched it out for the entire month of March. So we wanted it to showcase a girl that is showing high improvements in STEM and high interest in STEM, right? I asked us to make videos and all, and then go for outreaches, record how many girls that were impacted during your session. So we now narrowed it down to the Q1. And so now we want to announce the chapter of the month. Which chapter successfully ticked all our boxes for Q1? For quarter one, from January to March, which chapter ticked all our boxes? And I'm glad to announce to you that the Moi University Kenya ticked all our boxes for the quarter. So Q1, the Moi University chapter grabbed money home. Someone is saying something. Okay, I'll just continue. So the Moi University chapter Kenya, they have bagged the $100 award to their chapter. So, right, everyone, we need to celebrate with them. They have done so well. They impacted over 600 plus girls who are interested in STEM. They carried out a total of 4 outreaches across the quarter one from January to March. And they did lots of things. They are coming up. They were not so active as of last year, but this year they are pulling lots and lots of weight. And most of you are in your group. They are even planning so many outreaches, and I'm aware of it, and they are doing so well. So this is just like an appreciation to them. Please continue the good work. Continue the good work. So More University chapter, congratulations to you. We see you, and your efforts have finally paid off. Right. So we go over to the reminders and announcements. It's like I will have to reiterate this again because we went over our videos and all, and it's more like we are not really following the report format for this. Those videos I have said, and I'll say again, one is for you, one is for the school that you went for. Gather some children or gather some girls, or even just one girl that will tell us about what you did during the outreach in school, during your outreach in their school. And then there is also you who would briefly explain to us what you did in that outreach. So please, let's keep this in mind. Let's keep this in mind, please. Next, kindly ensure that all outreach activities are fully reported. Make sure you report your outreach. If you notice this month, I did not pursue anybody for outreach. I did not just chase you around for your outreach, and I think I will keep up like that, so that when you think of how you've missed the chapter of the month's money, you will report your outreach. Yes, I'm proud of myself. So these outreaches, please and please report them. Report them. And then we said that every month of the year in 2026, chapter of the month will have a special thing with which we run and make our selections. So there will also be a special recognition task report each month. Of course, our special recognition goes to put me in this month. So next month, we'll also recognize another chapter. And so you might be one, just keep doing the good work. We are Eagle's Eye. We are right behind the background, checking you out online, checking you out on your reports, checking you out in your different chapters. We see you and we will recognize you. The day it will be your turn, it will just be like a surprise to you. So please, just keep doing what you have to do. And for the month of April, it will be the collaborative chapter of the month. You see all those chapters that they partnered with this person, they partnered with this association, they partnered with IEEE, they partnered with Always Sanitary Pad Company, they partnered with all those partnerships that you do, right? Please document them. And then when you have those partnerships, please do well to let us know with picture evidences and video evidences, please. That is the only way we can verify that what your claims are true and correct. And so other details about the special recognition chapter of the month and the rest will be shared with us subsequently. And then our feedback survey is looking like we have relegated that link to the background. Please, we'll be sharing that link because we're already behind time. Don't want to share it now to not keep us back on the call. But please, if we drop the link, please, you don't know when it will be very important to you for you to win chapter of the month. So please make sure you click on the link and fill that form. We need to know how we are doing with our fellows meetup. For every project we handle, we want to see the impact, we want to see how far it goes in helping our fellows and our chapters. So please fill up the survey form. It's very, very important to do that. So at this point, I don't want to keep us here longer. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here up to this point and up to this time. You've done so well. I'm super, super, super proud of you. All thanks to you. You make these things happen every last Saturday of the month. Thank you very much. So let's have our snapshot. Can you please put on your videos so that we can just take the virtual snapshots immediately, and then you can call it a day. I want to see our beautiful faces, please. Rod that you shall. Ashley, please. Let me see your face. Let me see our faces, please. I'll put on mine as well. My face. I have hair in front of me. There is Tiani. Tiani, please remove put on your video. Amenge, please put on your video. Aisha, Biolu, Watiwi. Rukaya, so please, Keziah, Yvonne, please let's on our YouTube. I can see Queen Danny. I can see Daniel. Please put on you are looking fine. Your want to see the real face. Want to see your real face? See. I can see Anta. That is so fine. Very fine girl. Muffin Olua, please. Let's see your face. Please, please. Let's see your faces. Let's see your faces. Come on, for the side. We don't want to do that. Okay. At this point, thank you everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us. Same time, same Zoom link, same next month. Please let's follow our calendars and make sure that we attend. And please let's and speak. You can see that someone, did you hear that? Someone spoke and she's going to be connected to a cybersecurity guy like very soon. I don't know if any of you had that. I don't know who, if you skipped that, but I had it loud and clear. Because she opened her mouth to say something. Right now, she's now in the list of people that will be connected, that will have connect. So when you come to this call, you have resource persons. They are there to help. They are there to give you their connection. Open your mouth and show yourself. You'll be asking yourself, how do we start? How do we start? How do we start? What? You see persons, you will not prove yourself. Show yourself so that they will know that you are there. Okay? Right. So thank you very much once again for being here. Of course, you can go off the call now when you're ready to. Thank you. Bye.